You want to be a lawyer? Go. Go send me. Yes. An engineer. Go. A nurse.
Like all kids from around the world, these students have dreams about what they want to do when they get older. These children are from the rural village of Shema in the western region of Ghana. They have the potential to fulfill their dreams, but are learning unlimited resources. This is their library. The librarians have been moved to overcrowded classrooms, and most of the books were outdated textbooks and given to corresponding teachers. After visiting this school in town, I wanted to find out how rural children could get the same access to books and technology. This is how I started my search, and what I found was a mobile library project. The Ghana Library Board is piloting a project in a district just west of the town of Shema. The two towns are similar. Both are rural and built off the fishing industry. Because the children can't reach a library, the library is coming to the children. It is common to hear about rural schools having less educational resources, but I wanted to find out how local people were taking action through grassroots organizations. And this local project had the vision of bridging the gap between rural and urban schools getting the same access to books. I will show you how a teacher is able to learn about leadership, a student who is able to teach her peers, and a library worker who wants to help out children who did not have the same opportunities as him. All their lives have been transformed within one day, with one visit of the mobile library. Located in West Africa, Ghana's mobile library is visiting communities in the western region of the country. The town I visited was Nkroful, the birthplace of Kwame Nkrumah, the leader of Ghana's independence in 1960 and its first president. Now, 52 years after its independence, Ghana has one of the fastest growing economies in the world. However, they are developing at such a fast pace, many things like improvement in infrastructure and access to education are being left behind. This includes access to books and stable buildings for out-of-school learning. And in a country where it seems that everybody owns a cell phone, many people are missing fundamental first steps. 1/3 of the population is illiterate, which keeps them from joining the progress. Literacy in Ghana is the key to opportunity. In a country where over half of its new graduates are unemployed, opportunity is the only thing to secure a job. This is a story about how youth like these were given the opportunity to expand their minds and choose the books they want to read. This is a story about how they will use knowledge learned in books and on the internet to help change their futures. This is the story of Ghana's mobile library. This is Seth, a teacher at Nkroful Senior High School. He teaches math at a grade 11 level. Right now, his class is talking about inflation in the economy. All these kids were able to continue their education into secondary school. Many of their classmates left over the years after not being able to afford school fees or are using the main industries of agriculture, fishing, and selling in the market, all which includes child labor. His class is interrupted by another staff member telling the youth about the opportunity to get a library card. Seth already knows the procedure. He got his library card early in the morning because he wanted to be the first person in the village to register for a library card.
If the library wouldn't have been here, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. So now that they are here, I think I need to welcome it with all enthusiasm. I'm so enthused about mobile library. And that's why I want to be the first participant.
Now, not only will he learn from the books, his wife and students will as well.
This one is an English book. Well, I teach mathematics, but I admire English books. My wife is a nurse, and he teaches anatomy.
Just by being more informed about his favorite subjects, Seth is able to become a better teacher. And more than that, he wants to become a better teacher.
That will help to improve my professional level as a teacher. I need to be skillful so far as my leadership skills are concerned. The children are happy.
The frog was a fine fellow. He was 5 years.
One person who understands the mobile library most is Bernard. He works at the Ghana Library Board and travels with the library every 6 weeks to deliver the books. Bernard is from the city and says he received a good education. He says he feels like it's his duty to help out children and wants to see them succeed.
I'm more interested in the kids to promote reading, to cultivate reading habits in the kids. Yeah, through me, okay, the children can speak the English, to read and have access to the books. They're very happy. At times, some of them, this is their first time of holding a library book. Some of them haven't even thought of reading a storybook, you know. Some of them have heard of a library, don't know what a library is. And it's like seeing a library on real. Come on, it was amazing when the children had the opportunity to borrow books from the library. I think they were okay with it. They were very happy. The kids are happy. Fine, it means I've done my job. I've done the job perfectly, so I become happy.
Selena. Yeah, this integrated science.
The Ghana Library Board's Western Region Office is trying to bridge the gap between the education of rural and urban children and to introduce and keep reading as an important part of life for children as well as adults. But they are struggling. Only 2 of the 17 districts of the Western Region have a library for their community, and one of them is falling down, literally. The mobile library is struggling too. They want to expand their services to other small communities, but do not have the funds. Only the kids in the Alembale district will get a visit. The cities may be developing, but in the rural areas, conditions are still very poor. Access to essentials like running water and electricity are limited. Generators had to be started so this computer lesson could happen. With access to the internet happening in more remote areas, it brings new information to children, youth, and adults. All the children need to learn is how to use it effectively, and that is what the mobile library wants to show them. The children use the books to learn how to read, but some of the older students are using it to develop their knowledge on topics
General
of
Agric for West African Senior.
Bedtime tales.
And why did you pick that book?
Because of the English, and I like the stories in it.
I'm a science student, so I think that one will help me to know most of the sexually transmitted diseases and how they affect human beings. Yeah, I like to read African writer series.
I think Julius Caesar because we were given to us and our teacher said we should go and read about it.
The Tale of the Bushy, the Fox. The Tale of Bushy the Fox.
Teach me how to be good. It teach me how to be humble yourself. If you have something and your friend don't have, you can give some to that person.
I have the textbook, but I need another textbook to make further research.
I took sexual transmitted disease.
Olivia chose this book not only to help her with her studies, but to keep her safe.
In this modern Ghana, sexually transmitted diseases is becoming more. So I want to know how to prevent myself from getting those kind of disease.
She's 20 years old and trying to finish up her high school. She hopes to go to college and eventually become a nurse. She takes me to her class where they are learning about nutrition. As I leave the classroom, I hear Olivia announce what book she got from the library to her teacher and peers. Then her teacher started reading aloud from the book. This is when it really hit me. Olivia wasn't just educating herself by getting one book, she just educated an entire classroom about sexually transmitted diseases without even realizing it. All 20 or so youth in the room will go home today with more information about how to protect themselves without even having to go to the library. This sharing of information is what education is all about, and what the mobile library is doing. Ghana has a long history of oral tradition, and the art of storytelling is an important one. Seth will go home and share his books with his wife, who will then tell her friends in the hospital, who will then have patients. It's a full circle. Ben wanted to help these children, and he did, without even having to really do anything but show up and help them find books. His interest in helping them is enough to inspire them to want to read, and for me, to want them to gain this access. Olivia picked up a book and educated a classroom. All these children here today want to become something when they grow up, either a nurse or a teacher or a famous footballer, and now they're one step closer to reaching their goal. They have new knowledge from these books that will help them with their English, learn to read better, or understand an issue. Reading is their gateway to knowledge, and knowledge is their key to opportunity.
It improves my vocabulary.
Try to read storybooks, one storybook every day to sharpen my mind and improve upon my English.
And I've been always reading.
I've not even been in a library before, but yet they said library is interesting.
Without reading,
cannot get any knowledge, and then you cannot be able to, know more things than what is going on in the world.
Do you like to read?
Yes. I like reading.
Why do you like reading?
Because reading is the gateway to knowledge.